Good afternoon, everyone, from myself and this very needy cat. Shadow and I are in the garden this afternoon. I basically just needed a little break from my computer, and I have a few jobs on my list that I wanted to get done this afternoon. And I thought I would bring the camera out here because you all seem to really enjoy garden with me vlogs. So that's what I'm going to do. I don't have too many jobs to do this afternoon. It is a weekday and I try to not do like big garden jobs throughout the week. I just like to kind of potter along and do little things here and there that really do add up throughout the week. But this afternoon there's a bunch of carrots that I just need to get out of the beds because they're just not growing anymore. They're going to be very small baby carrots, but I want the space for something else that is going to grow better with this warmer weather. And I also have a whole bag of turmeric that I want to kind of just plant in and around the garden. I don't have a real designated space for this. I think I'm just going to choose random areas all around the garden, in the garden beds, up around the pool area, and just plant these in. I really like how turmeric looks as a plant. I really like the foliage on it. Creates a nice kind of zen rainforest vibe, which I do very much like a good rainforest. Now is the time to get your turmeric in the ground. I have planted one in a pot that I can transfer wherever we move to, but this bag is quite full and you can start to kind of see the greenery on it, meaning that it really needs to go in the ground now. And I also have a bunch of weeding to do, so I think I'm going to do that first, get that job out of the way. Not that I really mind weeding. We've had quite a few days of rain, so it is a lot easier to get the weeds out at the moment. But I'm just going to take you along this afternoon in the garden and share what I get up to. Most of the time I don't really listen to anything while I work in the garden, but lately I have been so obsessed with listening to Laura from Garden Answer. I have just learned so much from her videos and her kind of Q&A times that she has on her second channel. So I think I'm going to put one of those on and get to weeding the garden. So if you haven't seen her videos, definitely hop over and have a watch. But I'll put some nice music over the top for you to watch me pull the weeds out of my garden. So I kind of worked away for a little bit, got the problematic areas done. I don't want this video to be a full video of me weeding, so we're gonna leave it there for the footage. But in terms of weeds, I'm not very fussy with maintaining weeds. I get they're completely a part of the garden, and I try sometimes, or more than often, I try to work with them rather than against them by kind of just understanding why they're there in the first place. Often it's because the soil is too bare, so then I need to mulch different areas more, or it's really poor in nutrients and particular weeds like the pigweed, the purslane that we have around here. See ya. Most of the time I'll leave the weeds just to get a little bit bigger so that they're easier to pull. But for some of the weeds, like we kind of have this clover weed around, and it's just way too hard to get all of that out of the ground. So often I'll try and get the majority of it out of one area like I just did before behind me, and then I'll just put some cardboard over it and a little bit of mulch to cap it and make sure that there's no light coming into that particular plant. So that's kind of my main strategy for dealing with weeds, as well as just making sure that my garden is really well mulched, and in those areas I really don't have to deal with weeds a lot. I do try and avoid spraying just because I don't like to use spray on my garden. I think in scenarios where you absolutely need to, go for it, but there are so many other organic different ways to deal with weeds that you can try first. Alright, so the next job that I have to do this afternoon, I really want to get these carrots out of the ground behind me. I planted them at the kind of the top of the bed, and I don't think they got enough water up here, so whatever I plant in here, probably gonna maybe plant some okra once my seeds sprout and start growing. They just didn't do too well, so I learned for next time, knowing that this area just gets really dry because it's at the top kind of part of the slope. So the carrots didn't do as amazing as my other carrots, but I know there are definitely some baby carrots in there that we can enjoy for dinner. So overall, I don't think that was a bad harvest. I did leave one row, you can see there, of carrots just because we're just not going to eat more than this in one go, definitely. But these are a really nice size for roasting. I like to roast them whole as baby carrots, and these are going to be delicious. It's a mixture of just the all seasons carrot, the orange ones, and some purple carrots as well. Okay, so the last thing I want to do is plant the turmeric. I am just going to find random spots around in the garden. I know I really want to take out this rocket behind me. It's going to seed, and while I love collecting seed, I have another area of rocket that I'm collecting the seeds from, so I just do not need any more. So I'm definitely going to plant some there, and I think I'm just going to go with my style of gardening, which is plant things everywhere, wherever they fit. It'll all work out in the end. I have things that I know need to come out of the ground, also like the cornflowers behind you, and just find some places for them. We're probably not even going to be here to be able to harvest the turmeric, but I really want to plant it for family that live here so they can enjoy it while we go, and I don't think they'll mind where I put it in the garden. Okay, so bag is empty. I have planted randomly my turmeric everywhere. So I'm hoping I have small little turmeric forests pop up all around the garden. A few notes on planting turmeric. Because it's a plant that forms tubers, it likes soil that is fairly well draining. So nice and loamy, a lot of organic matter. It does like high amounts of nutrients as well. So I recently just fertilized pretty much the whole entire garden with an all-purpose vegetable food from Rich Grow, the one that I pretty much always use. I did that a few days ago before the rain, so the garden has a lot of fertilizer in it, but you can also fertilize it with things like Blood and Bone, really enjoys, and as it grows I will be feeding it with my worm tea from my worm farms as well. Does like a fair amount of water, so I'll be watering it most days, and then to harvest it you really just want to wait until the plant fully dies back. So more towards the cooler months I will be harvesting the turmeric, or whoever is here at the time will be harvesting it. But I think it'll provide a lot of interest into the garden because I don't really have a lot of tropical plants in the garden, and they grow so well in southeast Queensland. And coming up to summer is a great time to get like ginger, turmeric. There's a lot of native turmerics and ginger as well that you can also get in the ground before the rains come in summer, and hopefully the plants are going to do really well when it warms up. So I might leave the video here and I'm just going to continue pottering around in the garden, but I really hope you enjoyed watching me get up to a few different garden jobs this afternoon. This is really what a typical afternoon looks like for me, trying to just get some small jobs done. Really helps my mental health to come out into the garden and just be out in the fresh air, listening to all the different birds around, and of course spending time with little Mr. Shadow, who is quite the famous cat now on YouTube. He is a very gorgeous cat. So I'll leave you with a few nice shots of the garden. Thank you so much for watching this video. Make sure to like it and subscribe for lots more garden content. And until my next video, happy gardening everyone. Bye.